Alison Rosen is your new best friend. Alison, with her good times never end. Alison Rosen, doing the wavy pencil dance again. Alison's your new best friend.
Hey everyone. Hi. Hello. Welcome to another exciting episode of Alison Rosen is your new best friend. I'm sitting here in my studio with my husband, Daniel. Hello.
Hello.
The facial exercises that you just did in order to get your face ready to do a podcast were nothing short of frightening, but also like exhilarating. What was that?
It's just pro level shit, honey. Are you sure I'm not too hot? I'm like blasting my ear cans.
I am pretty sure, but I can turn your cans down a little bit. I think that would make you feel better.
Screaming.
Does that sound better? Try that.
Yeah, that's better. Okay.
Do you need to redo your facial
I'm worried
exercises?
I'm going to be like backing off too much from the mic, and then it'll sound fine in my headphones, but it'll be too quiet on the recording.
Here's the deal. Tony, I'm going to leave a space for Tony to play some kind of whatever he wants. I feel like he's probably going to do the Tony Thaxton. We're on different tracks, so Tony can adjust it however he needs to.
All right, great.
Yeah.
The episode is always worse if I'm too loud.
I don't disagree.
I would say, like, note to producers, back me off.
Yeah, less Daniel.
A little bit less. As they say, what do they say? 70% less.
Too much Daniel. Yeah. When I was in the band, the Angoras, so it was me, and I was at this point a sad, chunky girl who only wore black. Now I know I still only wear black, but it was like more. It was more. It was just like I feel like I wore like velour, stretchy black pants, and then like I had this fake fur jacket that was it looked like gorilla or poodle. It was huge.
You looked like one spirit in that movie Spirited Away.
I haven't seen that, but
that's like just a black thing with a white face.
Kind of. And then there was Tim, who was our drummer, delightful. Paula, singer, delightful, performed in lingerie. And then Yami, who you know well, who's like the most charismatic human being in the whole world.
Yeah.
And every guy likes Yami.
Everybody likes Yami.
Yes, it's more than every guy. It's everybody likes Yami.
Everybody.
She is the most magnetic person. But anyway, we were doing a photo shoot, and I don't know how she knew the photographer, but we got there, and it became more and more clear that he had a crush on Yami. And one of my favorite moments was it was on some guy's tennis court. You know how someone just has a tennis court. Sure. This guy had a tennis court at his house. And so he's like taking pictures of us all, and he's like, "That's great, that's great, that's great." Okay, Yami, come toward the camera. Okay, 3 of you guys go back a little bit, little closer, Yami. Okay, and we laughed about that for so long.
Like suddenly she's the leader.
He just positioned us, so it was like Yami to the. It's
Yami and the Angoras.
Yes, Yami to the foreground. And then a more funny Yami story. So I met Yami through this girl, Sally, that I had gone to grade school with, who had been in a band with Yami for a little while. And Sally worked at, I think it was it? No, not Quicksilver.
Billabong.
It was some cool
Stussy.
Surf company that it might have been Massimo. Before they were in Target. Or maybe, I don't know. Anyway, and actually, I can't remember, but regardless. Sally worked with Yami and Shauna. And Yami and Shauna were roommates. Shauna was Yami's best friend at the time. And I remember I would hear these stories about them before I got in a band with Yami, before I knew her. And all I heard was blah, 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 blah. Yami and Shauna, Yami. And I remember realizing at a certain point, I don't think I know what either of their names are. I don't know where one name starts and the other one name stops and the other one begins. I guess that's not really a funny story. And actually, it almost seems like I'm making fun of someone's name, doesn't it?
It's really reminiscent of the Uma Oprah joke from that David Letterman bombed with at the Oscars.
What was it?
You don't remember this?
No.
The one
Are you
year
saying that I'm good enough to bomb at the Oscars?
you're like David Letterman bombing. He hosted the Oscars one year, and he had a joke where like both Uma and Oprah were in the front row, and he just thought it would be really funny to introduce them to each other, but just to say like Uma, Oprah, Oprah, Uma.
Oh yeah,
Uma,
that
Oprah.
is
And
not that funny.
So it tickled him, I think, in the writers' room. Maybe it just didn't. have a reaction.
But that's one of those. That's one of those things that's like it seems really funny in your head if it happens to tickle your funny bone. Like, have I told you about the watch in the candy cane box? I feel I've
how could I
discussed
forget
it.
this?
Do you know what I'm talking about? Yes or no? That was the most vague, non-committal. That was half and half
I mean, maybe when you get into it,
That was
it'll.
You don't know. Just say it's fine.
Well, I don't know that I don't know. It could be one of those boring stories that just sort of settles at the bottom of my mind and, has like a few inches of sea sludge piled on top of it.
Probably. Tony, can you can you make a drop of Daniel's non-committal that was half and half whatever that was? Now, maybe when we isolate it, we'll discover it wasn't that funny. Maybe it was Uma, Oprah, Oprah, Uma, Shauna, Yami, Yami, Shauna. Yamashani.
Yamashani. I've been studying Japanese, and that sounds like something I would have learned. Yamashani.
Tell us some Japanese, and then I'll.
Don't put me on the spot.
Okay, fine.
I'm not good enough, but
I'll get to my.
I will. I will be there. I will speak. This is my New Year's resolution: is to learn Japanese this year. I will learn Japanese. Go ahead.
I love it. I mean, you're already saying some phrases. I heard you say.
I
something
can't. I'm
Elliot.
still too early to feel confident saying anything.
Okay, fine. So anyway, when my sister and I lived in New York, I had this. You know how a candy cane box usually has those like slots in it, and the candy canes are like presenting to you.
Yeah.
Their little hook toward you.
Sure.
And there's the cellophane.
Sure.
So we had a box like this, and there was one candy cane missing. And then I had this cheap digital watch that I bought for the timer for some reason.
Okay.
And so I put it in the candy. It's not funny. It just, for some reason, it sits in the funny center of my brain, and it like strums the funny chord, and I can not even tell a story without laughing, but it's not, I recognize it's just funny to me. So I put it in the candy cane box with the cellophane over it. So for some reason, the watch in the candy cane box strikes me as so funny. Just that like incongruity of it. I don't know why it's so funny to me.
I bet.
Have I told you this before, though?
It sounds like something you may have told me 1,000 times, and every single time I banish it from my mind. It is probably one of those things that in like 100 years, neuroscientists will know, like, oh, the reason she thinks that's funny is because it's like those words are next to where she stores these things that are actually funny.
And then my sister had a mouth guard, and she's... and I didn't think it was funny at the time, but now that I'm telling it, maybe because of the proximity to the candy cane, I am thinking it's funny. She set it on the edge of her drinking glass, like a lemon wedge.
This you have told me.
Okay, so then I have told you the other one. And she sent me a picture of it, and she's like, right. This is my candy cane in a watch box. Isn't this so funny? And I felt like, no, not to me.
It's like, you don't get it.
You don't get it. But
how could you?
But for some reason now it's striking me as funny. No, mine is like...
I don't want to dampen your appreciation for your own joke. I don't want to take that from you. So I feel bad having...
No. I recognize that it's just a me thing.
Right.
It's my humor G-spot. Which is... No, you know what it is? I don't know if I've ever told you this, actually. There's a certain spot that if I touch it, I feel it like, wait, now I'm getting confused about the two things. I know there's something weird on my body where like, if I touch it, that I feel it in my arm. And then also if I touch it, I feel it like in my butthole. And I remember even asking Dr. Drew, like, what's going on? And he said there's all sorts of like weird things that happen in the body, which I felt like was a cop out. It's not my humor G-spot. It's just one of those. It's referred humor.
Got it.
Let's move on to something that
It's like one of those things that you think is funny in a dream.
Yes.
Like a parakeets.
What do you call two birds making love in a hammock?
A parakeets.
No, it's just a parakeet.
Oh, a
It's singular.
parakeet.
What do you call two birds making love in a hammock?
A parakeet. So good.
This was one of the jokes in my
Yeah,
dream.
no, that's what I'm saying.
Do you
it's
have
like that.
Do you have dream jokes?
Oh, I have. I just don't, I don't remember them. I'll maybe remember them that day.
I feel like that dream was like I stood up in the dream at a dinner party and announced it. And I do think everyone thought it was clever and funny.
I tend not to remember jokes from dreams, but when I wake up first thing in the morning, I'll often have something joke-like in my head. Like yesterday, I woke up thinking like, they killed JFK, they killed MLK, and they killed RFK. Someone really hated K's. The letter K.
Yeah, you told me that, and I thought you might be onto something.
Yeah.
You kind of have like a little smile on your face when you sleep.
Oh, I do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm probably just happiest when I sleep. Just...
But I sort of wonder if it's like in the same way that ducks always look like This sounds more insulting than I mean it.
No,
I love
right.
ducks. Ducks always look like they're smiling, or dolphins do too.
Right, they can't help it.
I wonder if it's like that with you.
I'm sure.
Let me see your face. Well, now you're trying not to laugh.
I can't
I don't think
replicate my sleep face, though, while I'm awake.
I don't think you have perma
This is
smile.
you when you sleep, by the way.
It looks like a melting snowman.
Yeah, it looks like someone took a blowtorch to a wax statue.
Do I really look like that?
Well, when you're in the chair, because the way that your sort of head is still vertical, then your like mouth just goes. It's like the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like,
there's a photo. Do you remember the photo you took of me?
oh yeah, I've taken pictures of it just because.
No, you on the plane that I posted.
Oh. Yeah.
And you think you said to me, I took a photo of you. I don't think you're going to like it. But is that what I normally look like when I'm sleeping? Like, what do I look like when I'm sleeping in bed?
Well, I mean, all right. I won't.
The truth is you've never seen it because I'm a light sleeper and you're not.
No, but when you sleep, you say I sleep with a smile. You do not. You sleep. You look miserable when you're sleeping.
For real?
Mm-hmm. But you also look miserable when you're tired. Like you.
Oh yeah, you always think
seem,
there's something wrong. And
you always seem angry when you're tired. Like when you're end of the day tired. Not like
right.
I seem angry when I'm haven't got enough sleep, but I'm talking about like end of the day tired.
Just when I'm fatigued.
Yeah.
Could you try to get a picture of me when I'm asleep in the bed?
Do you suspect you have a smile?
What if I said yes?
Okay. All right.
No, I hear what you're saying. I just want to see how bad it looks so I can adjust.
I may need to use a flash.
Well, I sleep in the daytime sometimes.
All right. We'll see.
So I always look miserable while I'm sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
For real.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're not committing to it. Are you afraid I'm going to get mad?
No, I'm saying you do.
That's a bummer.
Well, no, it's just gravity's working on your face. It doesn't mean you are miserable any more than it means that I'm happy when I'm sleeping.
But why do you get to look cherubic and like sweet while you're asleep, like our children do? And then I'm just like a monstrous.
They say your inner self comes out when you fall asleep.
They do not. All right, let's listen to a call. So what I asked is, okay, I was looking for a chip clip the other morning.
Mm-hmm.
What is happening over there?
Oh, I'm just
Did you
thinking
just
of other
tune
things.
out?
Yeah.
Okay. I was looking for a chip clip, and I was thinking you could never have too many chip clips. Then I was thinking, what are other things you can never have too many of? So that's the prompt.
Mm-hmm.
And also, how's it going out there?
Okay.
Hi, Alison and Daniel. This is Beth calling from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I am currently sitting outside waiting to go in to see a new doctor about something I've been trying to get fixed in my leg for years. But the doctor's name is Jeff Fox. Maybe it's a good sign. Something you always need around the house, I would say extra scissors, and I would advocate for throw blankets as well. I've loved your show for years. I've been listening for years. Thank you for all you do. Again, this is Beth from Tulsa. Bye.
Thank you, Beth. I would agree with both of her things that you can never have too many of. That being said, I do feel like we have more throw blankets than are in rotation because they get folded up and like put away. We have so many more throw blankets than we actually think we have.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say we have too many, though.
No, but there's a fair amount. Some of our prize blankets are on the top bunk in Elliot's room.
I'm trying to think, like, what... Well, one thing I want to have a lot of are pairs of glasses. Mm-hmm. I'm always... Because I don't wear my glasses continuously. So I'll, like...
Yeah, same.
I'm constantly removing them and then losing them. And so I want to have as many glasses... Like, just a pair in every room is a good way to go.
Can I tell you my glasses regime?
Okay.
Regimen.
Sure.
Situation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I have the ones I'm wearing now, which were my original reading glasses. And these are the ones I wear when I'm looking at the computer.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have my new glasses, which are progressives, but they have nothing in the top and just magnification in the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
But they're stronger than my...
Right.
But I can't wear them for the computer. So those are my daytime glasses if I'm going to be reading or something. But then they don't work when I'm laying down. So then I have... If anyone here has progressives, but like me is also incredibly young, nubile, and supple...
I like men who look young and are hairless and nubile. Just nubile is the best word.
Yeah, if anyone is young but also wears progressives, are you able to use them at the computer? Are you able to use them when you're lying down? So then I have a pair of cheap readers that are also stronger than these by the bed. Anyway, all of it is like there's a lot of glass. You know how P92X or whatever PX
P90X?
Yes, they strive for muscle confusion. I feel like I have glasses confusion. Not eyeball confusion though. It's just like...
By the way, I feel like P90X is not the best.
Say more, King.
Well, the idea of muscle confusion, I think, is BS.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anyone still does P90X, but I would say...
For anyone who doesn't know what P90X is, can you explain? It was a workout I'll explain.
It's like
a workout
at-home
program. It's a bunch of different DVDs, and it was a guy who talked about muscle confusion, and also, do you remember, he would talk about like the sweat coming out of you, like that's pure DNA. Or he said like a bunch of weird things.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I got them like years and years ago when I was like, I didn't want to pay for a gym. And so I was like, oh, I'll try this. And it was fine. Like if you're just looking to, I guess if you're just looking to lose weight or something, it's good, but it's not good if you want to build any kind of strength or muscle.
So it's good for like cardio. Yeah,
it's basically like a bunch of cardio that you're doing and you'll sort of, but whatever.
I'm going to look up muscle confusion and see if that is even still,
if you want to build
trend.
strength, if you want to build strength and muscle, then you need to go with just it's like it's the boring old stuff works, just regular ass fucking weight training.
The term muscle confusion is actually a complete myth. Although the general concept, the idea that your body will eventually adapt to repeating the same workout over a period of time is correct, the specific terminology isn't. Other trainers I spoke with agreed muscle confusion is a myth. Is there such a thing as muscle confusion? In essence, this theory claims that confused muscles exposed to changing workouts gain more size and strength than complacent muscles cycling through the same routines.
It's bullshit.
Even if people are lifting equivalent amounts of weight. That idea has some appeal in many proponents, but little independent scientific backing. So sorry, what is the idea? The idea that like as your muscle gets stronger,
you got to change it up. You can't just do the same exercises over and over. And it's like, that's just not true.
Just because it feels like it's getting easier doesn't mean
the best way if you want to gain muscle, and everyone should strength train. I don't care who you are. It's good for your health. You should do the same exercises, work for do them with the proper form, and then build every time you do it, do a little more weight, try to push yourself. And then at a certain point you will plateau, then you can change it. But this thing with that one where you're just like every day, it's like a different set of stuff. It's like you're not going to see any results with that
because that's
just not how. Yeah, your muscles want the consistency, and you want it. Just there's a ton of science behind all this shit. This is one of those areas where it's like there's a lot of research.
Okay, and then one more thing I must share. There's an article here called "The Myth of Muscle Confusion," and the artwork is like stock art, and it's this guy. And he's got his hand on his head, scratching his head, and he's looking up like, I have to show it to you.
Is this like a YouTube thumbnail?
I don't think it's YouTube, but can you swivel your head around? Oh, yeah. Look at him. Like what?
He's really wondering.
Yeah. Like I feel like the search that resulted in that was like confused middle-aged white man. Could it? I'm confused. Or maybe he's confused about whether the muscle confusion is real.
It's like the AI saw the word confusion and pulled up an image.
Yes. So I am writing for Upworthy now.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. It's been good. It's been really good for me to get back into writing a lot. And I was telling my therapist that initially I thought I wasn't sure how much time each week I would have. And it's turning out that like I'll sit down just to work on a story and then I'll kind of look up and it's 7 p.m. And I was careful to say, I don't think this is the flow state. They say like when you're really doing what you're supposed to be doing, like time just passes or something. And I don't feel like that's what's happening, but it is interesting and probably good for me to be doing something that's that immersive and like using parts of my brain that, maybe I have. It's interesting. It's similar to what I was doing years ago when I was just working full time as a writer. So it's interesting to be using, speaking of muscles, to be using these muscles that I have, but haven't really used in this way in a long time. But all of this, the point being, so when looking for artwork, for images to go with my stories, I have been really having to hone in on the right search terms to bring up the right images.
That can be really hard.
Like, there was a story I did about this woman who had made this video that went viral about how parents today we feel like we need to be involved in too many of our kids' activities. And, she's working a full-time job, her husband's working a full-time job, but she's also like constantly doing activities. It's just too much. And then I sort of talked about this idea of benign neglect. Have you heard that? It's like letting kids like figure things out on their own. It's sort of a push against helicopter parenting. Jennifer Garner is a proponent of benign neglect. But anyway, so first I searched parenting burnout.
Jennifer Garner, whose daughter was wearing whatever.
What was her daughter wearing?
She was wearing a T-shirt with the map of Israel as a watermelon.
Oh, I saw people getting upset about.
Not to get into all that, but
yeah. No, I didn't know. I was like, who are these people in this picture that I'm looking at?
Whatever. Anyway, go ahead.
I knew they were celebrities and I knew people were upset about the shirt, but because I saw memes that were like some better shirts for her to be wearing. Anyway. Yeah. So first I searched parenting burnout. That didn't pull up what I want. I'm trying to remember what finally did.
Parenting burnout.
Yeah. Overworked parent, or I don't know. Anyway, not important.
You're not finished?
Nope. I'm done.
I have recently been thinking a lot, and I was talking. I had lunch with an old friend of mine yesterday, feeling very creatively fired up and inspired, to after that, because he's one of these like people that I knew from film school, and just has always been
He knew you before I crushed your spirit.
No, but he's, you have certain friends that like, and you're sort of supportive of each other creatively, and he was really smart. And Chris Cloneke, who they know him from the Watching Hour. The Watching Hour. Well, anyway, one of the things we were talking about, and it's something that I had not really put into any kind of like real. What am I looking for? I hadn't really thought about it, but he was saying like, he's doing different things, completely different creative outlets, engaging in completely different creative outlets, and the fact that he's shifting gears and doing, I don't know, like exercising those different muscles, like makes the everything more productive and more because, and I was thinking, yeah, like when you're sitting down and you're like, I'm going to do this thing, I'm going to write a book, or I'm going to whatever. Like if you're just sitting there every day, just only working on that one thing, you're going to get so fucking tired of it. You're going to get so fucking burned out. And you're just like, after a couple of days, you're just going, oh my God, I don't want to sit there anymore. But if you're like doing other things that are totally different, but also creative, like you'll stay engaged with all those things. Those things will start to feed back on each other, and will start to like fire your brain in different ways.
Like creative muscle confusion?
Yeah, so exactly, which I totally believe in. And I guess I've been thinking a lot about that idea of like, it's good to diversify yourself creatively. So like you doing this kind of writing is great while you're doing other stuff too. Like it's, oh my God.
Oh my God. That is embarrassing.
You know what's funny is I've been listening to old Comedy Bang Bang, and there was like a year where Scott Aukerman could not turn that off, and it just became this ongoing nuisance in the show that was really funny.
I actually don't know how to turn that off. Let me see if I can figure it out.
You can put it into like do not disturb mode or something.
Let's see how I do that.
Anyway, I'm realizing I'm being very serious on this. I got a lot of serious thoughts.
Yeah. Well, Tony, cut out 70% of Daniel.
I want to apologize to everybody.
No, it's interesting though.
Sometimes I'm more serious.
You're more thoughtful.
Yeah.
We need that wild, wacky guy.
I should have had a beer.
So while I'm doing stuff for Upworthy that is not personal, it's not me, Alison Rosen is talking about this situation. It's more, what would you call it? Is it called service journalism? I don't know.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
I don't know. I got to look up what service journalism
freelance
is. But freelance could be your own voice. I mean, it's got a little bit of my voice, but it's not
for hire.
Yes, I'm writing for hire. But meanwhile, I'm also doing my Substack, which is incredibly personal. And I feel like because I'm in the practice of writing, they're both helping each other.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, everything is flowing a little bit
That's
more.
what I'm saying.
I said it in a more
you're probably putting it in a better
way because I'm writing so much.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're a creative person out there, or even if you're not, frankly, don't just do one thing. If you're like a writer, write different.
If you're like a podcaster, do writing.
Yeah, or like, I don't know, pick up some clay and sculpt. Like, just work. I think it makes your brain fire differently, and it helps you stay inspired.
All right. What is a service piece in journalism? Generally, service journalism attempts to solve a problem for an individual or family. Solutions journalism is I didn't ask about solutions journalism. I asked. In simple terms, this type of journalism refers to consumer-oriented content. Any piece in whatever format or medium that helps the reader, listener, viewer solve a problem, whether it's a clogged sink or deciding what book to read on vacation. And I feel like it's Upworthy is kind of service journalism then in that sense. I do remember this is not about Upworthy. I love Upworthy so far. But some of my other magazines that I worked at, there were these things that they would say periodically. So I'm Gen X. I was punk
Oh,
rock.
are you? You are so Gen X too.
I had this very like, there has to be this division between, like this art must be pure, and I was insufferable. So I remember at a certain point being told, I think it might have been it was when I was in New York. So one of those magazines that I'm purposefully
One of those New York magazines.
I'm purposefully not saying the name of. They needed stuff to be a little more actionable. It's got to be actionable. And I was like, I think actionable actually means someone can, like literally what actionable means, and I will look this up. It means that someone can sue you over it. They can take legal action.
Oh yeah, right.
But they meant it like
you can use it.
Yeah, in a
You can do something with it.
Oh my God, what's that word that I used to think was slang, but I think it's not really slang anymore.
Active?
Yes. Proactive. Yes, it gives you a little nugget of something you can do.
But that magazine, if it's the one I'm thinking of, it kind of was all about that, though.
That was service journalism, yeah. And then there was another one where they're like, the key to pitching us is you want the wow, the row, and the now.
What's the row?
Like a row, like a fight.
Fight?
Yeah.
Okay. And
so you want the wow, which
the
is
row and the now.
Yeah.
That is so annoying.
But
was that Rolling Stone?
No. But how? Okay, so the person saying it was British.
Right, which is a word they might say there that we do not say here.
But do we say row or do we just not say it?
We just don't say that. When have you
Okay.
ever heard anyone say that?
I got to look up actionable. Action.
Yeah, the wow, the row, and the now. It sounds like something that, like, the Daily Mail or something. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I stand corrected because the dictionary online says law, giving sufficient reason to take legal action. Slanderous remarks are actionable. But the second meaning is able to be done or acted on, having practical value.
Practical value.
Yeah.
That's what they meant. So it wasn't slangy. It was a real. See, look at you eating some humble pie right here.
Okay, I'm going to look in Merriam-Webster.
Look at you. You can't take it. You can't take being wrong.
And then one more story. This one's about time out in New York. When I first got there, I had a note saying, we use this, look it up in MIR Web 10. And I was like, what website is that? We met Merriam-Webster's 10. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'm so wrong. See, that's that Gen X punk rock.
Arrogance.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. That's the arrogance. Wow. I really was entitled when I first started working. I really didn't understand what it meant to be part of a team, even though those words make me want to choke on my own foot. But I don't think I understood that I'm high. When you join a company, you're hired.
Tell us, Alison.
I think when you join a company as a young person, you're there to do the job that they want you to do to make everyone's life easier. And I think I saw it more like, I am a talented writer and I'm here to be a talented writer. And those are kind of two different things. It wasn't about me. It shouldn't have been about me.
Yeah, I mean, it's the arrogance of youth.
That's what I mean. Is there anyone who doesn't look back on their either early 20s or their entry into the job market and think to themselves, I was entitled? Did that question make sense?
I don't know, but there's a trope. I want to say trope. There's a pattern in storytelling, in the like hero myth, where the young prince is
princess.
No, not traditionally.
Okay.
The prince is expelled from the kingdom, and so going from this status as royalty. Goes out into the world and is then humbled
Oh, like Made in Manhattan with Ali Sheedy.
and is forced to work in some variation of like the cellar of some factory kind of thing, shoveling ash, and must go through this humbling this period of being humbled, wherein they get a stronger sense of self and they become stronger, and then they can finally at the end of that do the thing that they thought they could do but couldn't do at the beginning of their quest. So it's like in the case of the Perceval in the Fisher King.
I forget that one. What is that?
So I won't tell the whole story, but essentially, like, he has to find the Holy Grail, and he goes out and he's kind of like young. Do you want me to tell the whole story? I could try to tell it quickly, but I don't know how to tell it in a concise way. Well, essentially,
is it like the prodigal son?
No,
is it that okay.
So he's like a farmer, and I think his father was killed in war, and his mother tells him, like, don't ever become a knight, like, don't fight or whatever. And then one day, like, the Knights of the Round Table come riding through the fields, and he tells his mom he's going to go, and she's like scared that he's going to get killed. And so before he leaves, she just says, like, no matter what happens, just don't ask too many questions. She's just, and so then he joins the Knights of the Round Table as a knight, and then he goes off in search of the Holy Grail and the Grail and the Fisher King, and he finds the castle almost immediately, and the kingdom is starving, and the crops are dried up, and he goes in, and they see him, and they throw a big feast, like, they're very excited, and they're sitting there, and the Fisher King is wounded, and he's
like emotionally.
No, he has like a wound in his thigh or something.
Gross.
I'm forgetting some of the details, but like,
yes, so I've now pulled it up on Wikipedia. He's depicted as being wounded in the groin, legs, or thigh.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting about it, there's something about, like, he was wounded by a Muslim. Like, there's like the sort of like war between Christians and Islam
was in this. Interesting.
Yeah, but anyway, he's wounded, and they're sitting there, and and there's all these, like, maidens and everything, and he's being entertained, and he remembers the words of his mother, do not ask too many questions. But on his mind the whole time is this question that's burning up, which is, what ails you, King? And he doesn't ask it because he's remembering his mother's words. And so the feast ends, everyone is waiting for him to do something. He doesn't know what it is, and so he goes to bed. He wakes up, nobody's there. The fucking drawbridge is down. He's like,
so he can't get home.
No. It's down. It's not up.
Oh.
So it's like, leave, please.
Yeah, I see.
And so he gets on his horse. He rides away, and I forget, but like, it occurs to him that he needed to ask the question, what ails you, King? And so he turns around and rides back, but it's gone. He can't find the castle, and he realizes that that's what they were waiting for him to do. I don't know. This doesn't make sense, right? Like, why would that? But basically,
but it was waiting for him to decide on his own to be an adult.
There's a dream logic here, but it's like, essentially they were waiting for someone to come and ask, what ails you? But he didn't ask, and he realized maybe he runs into, like, an old hag who laughs at him and tells him this or something. And I think this old hag, like, comes back through his life as he grows older to remind him of this failure, like, just like mocking him. And so, like, he can't find it, and he can't find the castle. He can't find the castle again.
Like, he can't get back there, or it's poofed.
It's like not available to him. And so then he just, like, goes off, and he becomes a great knight, and he does all these things. And I think it's like later in life, after he's become like a really, like, accomplished knight, I think he's able to find it again, but only after he kind of becomes a man and everything that, like, that means in the context of the story. Whatever. Gosh, is this even interesting?
I think so. I'm on the edge of my seat.
The point of it being, like, you're not ready as a kid. You're still full of the, like, you need to have that period of failure. You need to have failed. You need to be humbled and then go through the process of building yourself up before you truly can do the thing that you're meant to do in life. Why are we talking about? Why am I talking about this?
I was saying that I was entitled.
Yeah. And so like every young person comes up and they're full of enthusiasm, like this hot air balloon of belief about themselves, but it's just hot air. And they need to have that burst. They need to come crashing down to earth. And then they need to like build, they need to work hard and struggle. And only through that can you become like a strong, wiser adult, you know, who can do the thing that it is you want to do or are meant to do.
Did they ever address the fact that it was his mom that gave him this horrendous advice?
I think the idea, it's all very like art, it's all, you know, symbolic. I think it's the idea of, it's like, these are the words of your mother. Like you're
right.
The words of your mother are limiting because they are words of fear. They are there. Like her advice was the advice of someone who doesn't want you to get hurt.
Make yourself small.
Yeah, make yourself small. But it's like what was needed from him was to be himself.
Yeah.
But he didn't know what himself was. He didn't have confidence to just ask the question. And so he was limited by the fear that his mother had given him. And so he failed.
I have chills. Does anyone else have chills? I have chills because this is what my whole Substack is about.
It's what, yeah, I mean, that's interesting. Yeah,
I mean, it's the whole message from my dad. It's not safe to
right.
be who you are.
These stories they resonate and they've lasted because they speak to the human experience.
Right. Maybe that's everyone's parents.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Okay. So here's something that I came across. Okay. You know the movie The Fisher King, which in my mind has Fisher Stevens in it, but I think it's actually Robin Williams.
It's Robin Williams.
Is that about this?
You know, I haven't seen it since like the 80s. Jeff Bridges too, right? I think
don't
it's Jeff Bridges
know.
and Robin Williams.
And there's a woman in it.
I don't know how much it has to do with the actual myth of the Fisher King.
The location of the wound is significant to the legend. In most medieval stories, the mention of a wound in the groin, or as my mom would say, groined, is more commonly the...
Does she really?
I think so. Is more commonly the thigh, such as the wounding of the ineffective suitor of... Blah, 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 is a euphemism for the physical loss of or grave injury to one's genitalia. In medieval times, acknowledging the actual type of wound was considered to rob a man of his dignity, thus the use of the substitute terms groin or thigh. Although any informed medieval listener or reader would have known exactly the real nature of the wound, such a wound, blah, blah, blah. Anyway. And the central theme is that the Fisher King can only be healed of his dick wound if Perceval asks the question. I'm going to have to read more about this. This is interesting.
The best way to understand it, too, I think, this is my personal belief, is, you know, in Jungian terms. So you think of it like the way you interpret it the way you would a dream, you know, and the Fisher King being the, you know, it's kind of like a story about, I think primarily about men and the male sort of coming of age, even though like women can get something from it too. There are better myths that tell stories that apply to women.
Like Medusa.
Yes, exactly. But I think that like the king being wounded and then needing to be healed in order to become, you know, to have the Holy Grail.
Now, what is the Holy Grail exactly?
I mean, the Holy Grail, I think, was like the cup that Jesus drank out of in the Last Supper. But I think symbolically, it's the cup of life. You know, it's the. So you go like, well, in order to have that source of vitality and strength, and to be the king, the unwounded king, you need to unburden yourself of the fear. And then work hard to gain the confidence and strength, and then not search for, like, he doesn't find the Grail Castle when he's looking for it. He stops looking for it, and that's, I think, when he finds it.
Oh, okay.
So it's
a little too. Are we Hallmark here?
Well, I'm sure I've lost everybody by now, but if the point is, like, we tend to have a culture that fetishizes young success, and this sort of like, oh, Spielberg, he came right out of high school and he went right into Universal Studios and he became and sure, that happens. We fetishize that, but that's really not the way it should be.
I agree.
That's not the healthy way a person should develop their talent. And then we feel bad about ourselves in our 20s because we're struggling. Like, oh, what's wrong with me? And it's like, but that's exactly what you should be doing in your 20s. You should be struggling. This is good.
Yeah.
We don't tell that story enough. And so I think people feel really shitty about themselves when they shouldn't. They should be feeling like you're right on track.
Right.
This is exactly how it should be.
This is the time for that.
Struggle will make you stronger. You will get there.
Can I tell you, this is just tangentially related. Can I tell you, I was thinking about this. We are now at an age where it is not uncommon to see gray hairs. Not in ourselves.
Not on me, though.
In other people. You actually don't have very many, but I mean, I can see a few. But I'm talking about in other people. Like,
I pluck them.
Do you really?
No, well, I pluck them out of my mustache.
Okay.
But
No, I'm saying like
they are there. You can't see them because they blend in.
Yeah. No, I mean like other people, like pictures of people that we knew from a long time ago. Like you look at a picture of when
I go on Facebook, it's a horror show. It's literally like if you replaced my high school yearbook with just pictures of the Crypt Keeper.
But I realized that the way my brain perceives it is, look at these gray hairs on all these young people. Yeah. Like my brain doesn't realize, no, we are now older, at the age where we look like it makes sense that some of us are having some gray hairs, like because we're that age. But it's sort of like you wonder, like, how could I ever be attracted to a 70-year-old? But then when you're of age, you probably will find they don't look like old people to you.
Yeah, it's funny. You do kind of find yourself attracted to people that are around your age. Yeah. I think it's because we thought that it would take longer to get to this age than it did, and so I feel like I'm 30.
Yeah.
In my head.
Right.
It's like, how am I this old? I'm only 35.
And now here is a special call.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm just realizing the one that I thought I was about to play, though, I don't think I played it. Did I? We've only done one call. No, have we done one or two?
One?
I think just one. Okay, anyway, still, time for a special call. Tony Placentine to herald a special call. Okay. Do you remember the most recent episode we did with Nicole Thurman and Jordan Morris? And we were talking about cereals that are overrated.
Oh, yeah.
Because boy, did you give Rice Krispies the business.
I did. Oh, do we have a Rice Krispies defender?
No.
Okay.
But really, the cereal that took the most heat.
Grape Nuts.
Yeah. We got a Grape Nuts defender.
I want to hear this.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Brett from Cincinnati. I'm
You can tell he's really angry.
I know.
Out of the gate.
He's holding it in.
Yeah.
calling to defend my fellow grape nut lovers out there. I could definitely see why some people don't like them. I think it's a lot.
He's just trying to earn our trust.
Right. He's getting into the circle of trust, as they call it in media training.
Mm-hmm.
Down to expectations. If you're expecting something like Frosted Flakes or even Cheerios, you're going to be disappointed.
Just the disgust.
I'm sorry to keep winking. I know, just like,
like,
your Frosted Flakes, your Cheerios. You can tell he thinks that people who like those cereals are shallow.
He's like, you know how you attract flies with shit.
Disappointed. But if you're...
Hang on, I got to go back. Sorry. It's because I won't shut up. Oops. Well, we're going to just rehear a little bit of this.
Down to expectations. If you're expecting something like Frosted Flakes or even Cheerios, you're going to be disappointed. But if you're open to the grape nut flavor, I think they're delicious. They're kind of toasty, kind of a little bit subtly sweet, a little malty. They're delicious. They're good sprinkled on yogurt, on ice cream, in oatmeal cookies. They're just delicious. I don't understand why more people don't like them. So I try them with an open mind. I think you might enjoy them. Again, this is Brett from Cincinnati.
Yeah, I gotta say, I haven't had grape nuts since probably like, I don't know, early 90s. So I might like them. I know that the idea of grape nuts with yogurt does sound good, actually.
Yeah, but it isn't. That's the propaganda. That's the propaganda.
Don't know if I agree.
That is coming out of Qatar. They are. That's what hooks you, because you're like, ooh, berry flavored yogurt with grape nuts. That sounds so yummy. And then you're like, I got a mouthful of yogurt and gravel, and I think that I just.
I don't know. I kind of like a crunchy texture, though.
You feel free to try them. It's a cute little. It's like a smaller size box than normal because they're so dense. And
it's just like cement.
Yeah. And I've tried them over the years repeatedly. And every time I walk away going, I just don't like them.
Yeah.
But now I kind of want to try them again.
I kind of want to try them again. I mean, I'm easily swayed on this.
I know. It's because he wasn't even doing the hard stuff. But did you notice he said they're delicious 3 times? He said, a little bit sweet, a little bit malty. They're delicious. They're good. Sprinkled on yogurt. They're delicious. They're just delicious. Like,
and I was thinking,
to convince Brett.
And I was thinking maybe they're delicious. It's totally worked.
Yeah.
That just pounded it in my head. Well, here's the thing. The best thing, of course, on yogurt is granola. But granola, my relationship with granola took a turn.
What happened?
Like,
did you get granola butt?
I feel like. Tell me what granola butt is.
I don't know.
Is that a thing?
No, but I suddenly was like, did you have some kind of bad bathroom situation from granola?
Like a number of years ago, bought granola, and I thought, I'm going to have some granola for a while. And oh my God. Oh my God.
What?
It was like just ripped through my system.
That is granola butt.
And I had serious granola butt.
You made,
but no, I was just wondering if that was a thing. No, I wasn't.
Okay,
I was saying, like, is this a known thing?
No, that's not okay. I'm not aware of it being a known thing, but I had this sense that your problem with granola was bathroom
granola
related.
butt. Yes, it was granola butt, and then I was like,
you were so hang on, you were so unsure of it that for a second I'm like, oh God, I'm such a child. Not everything's about the bathroom.
I was like, oh, maybe I just got a bad batch of granolas. So then, like, maybe a year later or 6 months later, I bought a different brand, same fucking results. And so now I won't touch granola, but, you got to have that crunchy thing to go with the yogurt. Maybe it's grape nuts.
Do you remember when we were kids, granola bars were only hard? They didn't have chewy granola bars.
I prefer the
Nature's
hard ones.
Valley with
I like
the 2 in the box, in the pack.
You can't beat it. That's just a great snack.
But I'm just saying, do you realize that before us, I don't believe that we were around for the softening of granola. Yeah.
You know what they also didn't have? They didn't have soft cookies. I remember when soft cookies came on the market.
Who invented those? Mrs. Fields?
One of them. And I have never been on board.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you want?
I want a regular ass crunchy cookie. Unless it's homemade. But I mean, like, store-bought.
Right.
If you want to go with, like, store-bought cookies, give me just the crunchy-ass Chips Ahoy dunked in milk. That is a good cookie experience. I don't need... the soft cookies do not
strongly
soak up the milk. Excuse me. They don't soak up the milk. That's what you want in a cookie. You want it to have that sponge factor is what I call it. I think science calls it that.
Snapchat.
Do we have a new drop? Did I ask Tony to make a new drop of like you making a point, Daniel? Does that ring a bell?
He was supposed to combine the 3-part harmony that I did.
And what was it?
I don't know.
But was it to be played when you make a point?
Yeah, something like that.
Tony, if you have that, can you put that in?
That was Daniel's hot take. Tony's been rocking this country's pants off. He doesn't have time for your bullshit.
He might have had time for that bullshit.
I don't know if he has. He's been literally out there melting faces, pounding people's ears into their butts. I think that's the rock term.
Are we leaving this in or are we taking it out?
Why would we take it out?
Because I was hoping that he would just play Snack Chat and then play your new drop.
Well, he can do that. He can fit it in.
And this whole conversation about it.
And this whole conversation.
All right. Tony.
He's so talented. He can do it.
Do it. I'm disappointed by Chips Ahoy. And also by Oreos, I'm sorry. When I think Chips Ahoy, I think...
What the fuck is wrong with you?
In 5th grade...
Oh, brother.
We did this thing at my school every year, which I wonder if they still do it, called Colonial Day, where we were learning about like what would now be in Colonial Williamsburg, like those people
butter churning and
candle dipping,
spinning wool,
candle, yeah, but mostly candle dipping was the real
burning witches.
Yes, exactly.
Starving to death, cannibalism,
all of that,
murdering natives.
They didn't really lean heavily into that then, but everyone dressed in your finest colonial garb. We did dip candles.
That is fun.
We also played some kind of like dice game.
Did you do the thing with the knife and the fingers?
No, no. But we did drink mead at a tavern. Not really. But we watched a film strip movie in school.
I miss film strips.
Me too. About some guy that was an apprentice. And something happened where like melted iron. He burned himself on melted iron. I don't know. I remember it being very captivating. I probably had a crush on one of the actors if I know myself. And that's why I enjoyed watching it. But anyway, everyone made a colonial lunch. Just a lunch. In a boxed lunch. And then there was like a number drawing raffle thing and everyone got someone else's lunch.
You made it at home and brought it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I had made I can't remember if I made it or bought it, but you assembled it. It was like a chicken salad croissant sandwich. I mean, from Gelson's.
It could not be less colonial.
No, it didn't have to be colonial. It just had to be, you just had to wear colonial clothes while wearing it. It was just a lunch.
Just a lunch.
Yeah. But I got like peanut butter and jelly in a Ziploc, a bag of chips, orange slices, and 2 Chips Ahoy. No, sorry.
This isn't bad.
And 2 Chips Ahoy cookies.
That sounds good. It was
the most middle of the road.
Sounds good. I would like that.
I don't like peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
I don't like Chips Ahoys. I don't like oranges. And I also don't particularly like plain chips. Yeah. They're growing on me, but I'm just saying, when I hear Chips Ahoy, I hear basic 80s bitch.
Well, I think you might want to give Chips Ahoy another chance because
I don't.
Chips Ahoy, excuse me.
They're so depressing.
With milk.
They're depressing. They're like cookies you get at the bank.
Chips Ahoy with a glass of milk. That's a nice treat.
You know what's a nice treat?
What?
Mother's iced oatmeal. And I'm not referring to my mom as mother.
No, I know what you're talking about. No, those are fine.
They're delicious. You know what else is good? This is going to surprise you, given my peanut butter and jelly.
Butters.
Yes.
Nutter butters are good.
Also,
by the way, whoa. I guessed that. Like, give me some credit.
Wow, you really know me.
I don't think that would have been an obvious guess.
I think
considering
it might have been
that you don't like peanut butter.
Did you guess it before I said it's going to sound on you? Okay. Are you aware of Vienna fingers?
Yes.
So they are called Vienna fingers. For a second, I couldn't remember. They're like those white sandwich cookies.
Yeah, those are good.
Or with the white cream inside. Anyway. All right. Let's play another one.
Hi, Alison and Daniel. This is Emily calling from Vermont. I just pulled into the school parking lot. I'm a high school English teacher, and it is 5 degrees this morning.
Oh my God.
Which is kind of terrible. Things you can never have enough of. Zip ties, because they work for so many purposes, and also hair ties, because they go missing all the time. And chapstick are the top 3 things that popped into my head. You can never have enough. Incidentally, Allison, when I was in college, my roommate's cat ate a hair tie, and we didn't know that until the day we saw it coming out of her butt as she walked around. That seems like something you might find amusing.
I do.
Again, Emily from Vermont. Have a good one.
Thank you, Emily.
Yeah, 5 degrees. They're having those storms over there.
I know. Everything is cold on the East Coast.
Zip ties. I love.
I've never used a zip tie.
We have zip ties. I just never I never use zip ties. I use twist ties.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm always needing. I'll save them from things, when they're in packages and stuff, but not zip ties.
All right.
Hi, Allison and Daniel. This is Erin from Allen, Texas, in the DFW area. To answer your question, I think that you can never have too many chargers,
Yes.
nail clippers,
Yes.
and scissors.
Yes.
Those are always in demand. This has been Erin from Allen, Texas, in the DFW area, and have a great day. Bye.
I mean,
She's right. Thank
she's
you,
right.
Erin.
Like the chargers.
Chargers, yeah.
I've
You know
bought
what? Not-
extras just to have them in the rooms.
I think you can also never have too many outlets. If you're building a house,
Yeah,
just make the whole wall just so it looks like the Mad Men phone.
I'm
room.
always amazed when there's a wall that has no outlet. It's like, why did you think no one would want to plug something in here?
Yeah.
The fuck?
No one has said nail file. That's something that I feel like.
have started to need nail files. I'm not too proud to say because I bite my nails, and the reason I bite my nails is because they're always rough and jaggedy. So, but if I keep them filed, I bite them less. So I need the files.
Hey, Alison and Daniel. This is Lisa in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
So I have some good news for me. I was able to recently change my retirement date so that it's 9 months sooner. So it's going to be 54 months from now instead of 63 months, which sounds like a long time, but I've been at my job for 20 years, so it's really not that bad. And as for the thing around the
I'm going to need to know what it is you do. Thank you.
house you can never have too many of,
She works at a brewery.
at my age, it's reading glasses.
She either works at a brewery or a dairy farm.
Based on her being from Milwaukee? Where did Laverne and Shirley work?
Did they bottling? Did
That's
they
where she
bottle
works.
beer bottling company? By the way, I love Milwaukee, but go ahead.
Is I have a pair in every room plus
What did you
Oh,
say?
I don't know. God damn
a
it.
pair in the garage. That many of. At my age, it's reading glasses.
Yeah.
I have a pair in every room, plus 2 pairs in the basement, a pair in the garage. That's how dependent I am, and I'm also considering just wearing them on top of my head when I'm at home, just like I do at the office. So hopefully you won't get to that point, but I have. So anyway, thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye. That's the thing with something like reading glasses. They're cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get a box of 5 for like $5.
Right.
And I say, like, with something like that or nail clippers or whatever,
Zip ties.
and, zip ties, just get a bunch of them and just litter them all over the fucking place. Just have your fucking reading glasses everywhere. Put nail clippers in every bathroom. Why have one?
I have a problem, which is oftentimes if there's something that I use a lot, I'll have a version that I put in my purse, and then I'll have one on my desk and one on my whatever.
Your butt.
They're one on my butt. But then I won't be able to find one, so then I'll dip into the car one or the purse one,
Well,
and then,
This is what happened. So I have 3 pairs of my prescription glasses. And you'd think like, okay, right.
Are they all the same prescription?
No, but the
Close
old
enough,
prescription's
right.
good enough. So you'd think, okay, great. Like you have one here, one there, but
I
they all
would.
end up
In one spot.
like, gathering together in
Yes.
the same spot. And then I lose that spot. So I lose them all together. You know what I mean? Like it's just,
Exactly.
it doesn't quite work out. You
Exactly.
need to have like a little beeper where if you cross from one room to another room,
Like
you have to
when
leave it.
we go somewhere with Wendy or don't go somewhere with Wendy.
Yes, and I get a little because she has an air tag.
Yeah.
I get a notification. Exactly.
I feel like I want Lisa to be my mom. Now, I don't think she's that much older than we are.
I'm trying to do the math. 54 months
It's
is
5 years, right?
5 years, 4 years. Well, I think it's more like 4 years, right? 4. Well, it's like 4.5.
Sounds good. Right. 4 years is 48.
So and you can retire at 65?
Well, I don't know. Doesn't it kind of depend?
Doesn't it feel like we'll
Lisa,
never
how old are you? Where do you work? And would you like to be our mom? And we're not saying you're old enough. We're just saying you have a maternal vibe that I dig.
If there's anyone out there who has like lots of millions of dollars and just wants to unload some of that, I just feel like we're probably not going to be able to retire, and that bums
not
me
at this
out.
rate.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. What else you going to do with it?
By the way,
Huh.
allow me to just give a sad speech with my hand out for a moment. I don't know if you guys have noticed, and I'm going to have to give this speech again on a Thursday show too, so get ready to hear it twice. I don't know if you've noticed, but there haven't been that many ads lately. Like in the old days, you'd be listening to me, and then suddenly I'm telling you about a product, and then I'm the queen of segues. I'm getting rusty because I've had nothing to segue into. It's a industry-wide problem.
It's a problem in the whole podcast industry.
I need to believe it's really widespread. Like
It is.
It is. I know, because it's a conversation I have a lot. However, there was someone who's like, it hasn't been that bad for me lately. And I was like, really? Get out of my studio. But anyway, yeah, you may have noticed there's been a bit of a downturn. So right now, this podcast is literally a labor of love. That's never happened to me before.
It's been a shocking turn of events.
I've never been able to say that this is a labor of love, because it's always been
a labor of annoyance.
No, I love it, but it's always been my main source of income. And so it's a little bit thin right now. So there is a way you can support the show. Basically, please support me on Patreon. You can directly support this labor of love so that I can continue it.
The best way to support the show is through Patreon.
Yeah.
Of course, if for people who don't have money, don't
ignore
do
this.
It.
Don't do anything you can't do.
No, but like if you do, and you want to support the show, it really matters. The whole industry is going through a major shift. There's lots of factors. There's advertisers in my other business. We have. I can't get into detail, but let's just say I have a direct. I'm trying to figure out a way to talk about this. Let's just say that.
You can be vague.
Let's just say
I don't even. For the record, I don't even know what you're talking about.
The advertising business has contracted throughout many industries.
Yes.
And maybe I don't know why. I think it has to do with
there's a
anticipation.
downturn in the economy, right?
Well, there isn't.
Oh.
But I think there was an anticipation of it, or maybe it's a residual effect of when it was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. But nevertheless, the ad dollars just across the board have been tighter for many industries, and then podcasting's been hit particularly hard. And then it's there's different things with services like iTunes changing the way that their technology works, which it's so.
Yeah, I guess if they're listening to this, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
but basically, if you haven't listened to the last 5 episodes, it won't keep downloading anymore.
Yeah, so anyway, just hey, if you love the show, and you can, and I'm trying to think would you want any DQ on there? Let me know. I can
DQ
participate.
Patreon level?
I always assume the answer is no, but if people do,
I was thinking they do.
And then I was thinking what if we did a Discord, and then because you and I have talked about having a call-in show, and I think if we did it with Discord, that seems like a really easy way to do it, and then maybe make the Discord available to patrons.
So I don't know how Discord works, but it's time.
Well, if you go on the Discord, and then there's a room you could go into, and basically it's a waiting room, and then you just pot the person on from the Discord, and then you're just talking to them instead of them having to call in.
I actually was wondering, I'm on Google Voice right now. If someone were to call in via my computer, since the computer is hooked into the Zoom, this is an off-air conversation to have, but couldn't I talk to them through that?
Yeah, actually, come to think of it, I'd want both ways of people calling in because I'd want people who aren't tech savvy to call in too. I just want, you know what I just want? I want a call-in show. That's what we need to do.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to waste a minute to see. No, this is it's an off-air thing. It's going to take
like maybe
long.
we'd have Colin Hay on
from Men at Work.
Love him. Or Colin. Why am I blanking on any other Collins?
Mockery. Colin Mockery. Okay, do me a favor. Take your cell phone and call this number, and let's see if it goes through the computer.
Okay.
So 323 553 2331. Oh, it's just going to my cell phone. Okay. Oh, hang on.
Call from
Daniel Quantz.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail.
Hello?
Hello.
Okay, go outside the studio. You got to take your headphones off. And then let's just see how it sounds. Guys, thanks for hanging out during this compelling content.
Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you, though.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Oh, yes. You can't.
So I can only hear you from, like, the real world.
Okay, hang on a second. Hang on. Now can you hear me?
Nope.
Okay, hang on.
This is great.
Now can you hear me?
Great podcast.
Now can you hear me?
Oh, there we go.
Okay, and
Yeah.
how do I sound?
You could sound better, but I can hear you.
Okay, like it's serviceable. It's actionable.
Sure. Yeah.
There's quite a delay. It's interesting. Okay, listen, thanks for calling in. You take care.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Yeah.
We got to figure it out. Listen.
It wasn't the worst. Get back on mic. It wasn't the worst. Patreon.com/Alison Rosen. Okay, listen, I think it's time to bring this baby home.
What if we had a level of Patreon, a low level of Patreon, same price as the low level, all the same
doodads and
doodads,
thingies.
and it's just Friends of Dan, the FOD level.
I feel like there should be a Dan tax, and it should just be 50% more.
I don't know. I want people to sort themselves. It's time. No more sitting on the fence.
Right.
You got to choose sides.
Right. We knew this day was coming.
Yeah. It's war.
Should we just do a poll on Patreon to see who they like better? Go straight to
There's only one way that could go.
I don't know.
There's only one way I want it to go.
You want me to win.
Yeah.
So then we won't. That's nice though. Thank you. I don't know. I feel like sometimes it's like the unsurprising person wins, prom king or whatever.
Did I ever tell you that in my high school, we elected the very awkward, very dorky, shall I say, Russian exchange student guy as the student body president?
No. Now you say we. Did you have a hand in this?
Well, my class.
Oh, okay.
Was this we're just like, was
he running?
He ran for student body president, and there was like someone running who really wanted it, who like had,
right, a Tracy Flick.
Yeah, who had been like in student body government since sophomore year kind of thing, and had done all the things.
ASB.
And we were just like, oh, you want it too bad. Fuck you. We all elected the.
What's that person doing now, do you think?
His name was Vladimir Putin.
No, the girl who wanted it too bad. Was it a girl or a guy?
I don't remember who it was.
I'm going to need more.
There's a girl. I mean, I'm remembering her face, but I don't remember her name. Because by that, I wasn't really plugged into my high school.
Can I tell you, I was looking at a mom group, and this woman was talking about wanting to declutter her house, and she was debating whether to throw out her yearbooks or not because she never looks at them anymore. And I was like, no, I didn't say anything, but I was thinking, no.
How could you do that?
Don't do that, because I love looking. Like, my mom has her yearbooks, my dad threw all of his out.
No.
Yeah, I've never seen my dad's yearbooks because he said that periodically he would decide he was starting over. So he would just dump all of his old stuff. Feels very impulsive and very my dad. So I've never ever seen a yearbook of my dad. So listen.
Your dad had all of the sort of makings of a cult leader without the cult. Like your dad.
Is that what cult leaders do?
Well, I think the idea of just like the past is empty and meaningless,
Yes.
and it's empty and meaningless, that it's empty and meaningless.
Right,
You know,
right.
it's just like this nonsensical sort of don't hold on to the past.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that I don't know.
Definitely declutter, but something like your yearbooks, any future people connected to you are going to want those.
Yeah. Maybe.
That's what I have to say. Although my yearbook from my senior year in college, where I had the big picture, you know, you get a third of a page. I have no idea where that yearbook is. I've lost it. And I think I could probably reach out to the college and get one still.
Mm-hmm.
Like another, well.
College yearbook?
Yeah.
Wait, you had college yearbooks?
Yeah. Well, I had a small college.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess I went to university. It's like the idea of a yearbook at USC is silly.
Yeah, no, we had yearbooks. Oh my God, I should ask Wendy if she has hers. I could just take a peek.
Did people sign it in college?
No.
Okay.
No. I don't think so. Now I'm wondering. I don't think so.
Right.
But I just, it's that I have 3 college yearbooks and not the 4th.
What
for
if
my
they did
senior year.
yearbooks for just like corporate jobs and shit? Like
That'd be great.
Okay, here you go, everyone who works at, whatever company you're fucking yearbook.
That'd be great.
I would love it.
Yeah.
A book for every fucking year that's produced and printed by Jostens.
Yeah. Did you ever get a class ring?
No, I didn't.
I did, and I did not wear it once.
That was my math that I did on that. They were neat. There was a moment where I was like, ooh, you can get all the things.
You can customize it, yeah.
You can customize it, and it's like, I'm never going to fucking wear this.
No. And I got one in college, too, and never ever wore it.
You have a college ring?
Mm-hmm.
Where are they?
At my mom's house.
You should get those and wear them like they're Super Bowl rings. You should, oh my God, you should wear your class rings all the time.
I know. What if I did? I mean, the college one was kind of cool. It didn't have a stone or anything. It just had like the emblem.
That doesn't sound cool at all.
The stones are like plastic. But
What?
yeah, you think they're actual stones?
I thought there were some kind of stone. I mean, I didn't think they were like emeralds, but
Mine was emerald tone. Let's just look up what they're made out of. Jostens really has a monopoly, I think.
there's probably like the Jostens headquarters is just massive.
And it's just covered in pennants. Okay. Custom high school class jewelry. Personalized. Cherish the memories of high school with a one-of-a-kind class ring, bracelet, or necklace. I'm really trying to see what they're made out of.
Yeah, I'm realizing you could probably do a class ring or for anything.
Yes, I think you
Like,
can.
I'm sure that you could just order something through Jostens. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to have just bought it when you were a senior.
So I went here to explore class rings, and you have to enter your school or your group name. So,
Oh, maybe I'm wrong.
yeah. You know what? I'm going to have to circle back with everyone. I'm going to have to do a little research and then circle back. And by that, I mean, I will probably have forgotten that.
If there's anyone out there that still wears their class ring,
Tell us.
call in.
323-553-2331. That's right. We want to know.
I gotta know.
Listen, this has been delightful. Everyone, thank you for listening. Subscribe to my Substack, please. And if you are interested in supporting my Patreon, do that. Patreon.com/Alison Rosen. Listen to Childish. Subscribe to my Alison and Todd After Hours Patreon. And all my other stuff is at Alison'sLinks.com. Daniel, you?
Follow me at Daniel Quantz on Instagram. And if you're adventurous, Threads? Sure. And who knows where else? Blue Sky? I never go there, but follow me there.
So long.
TikTok? Maybe?
Are you on TikTok?
I've never posted anything, but if there is a
follow you.
public outcry,
A demand.
You never know. Follow me on Goodreads. I don't do anything there. Or Letterboxd, if you can find me.
Find me on Foursquare.
Find me on Duolingo, where I'm learning Japanese.
Yeah, and you're in a dead heat with Astrid.
Yeah, fucking Astrid will overnight. She will pound that thing and get her experience points to first place.
Are you still second?
No, I earned my first place back today, but
do you think she dislikes you as much as you dislike her?
1,000%. She's like, who is this jackass? And
would you guys fall in love if you met though, because you have pushed each other to be more excellent?
She goes, who is this guy? And I go, your worst nightmare.
What is that from?
That's Stallone from Rambo 2. Honey.
Oh, I haven't seen any of the Rambos or any of the Rockies.
Your worst nightmare. Yeah, follow me all those places. Just follow me. Please follow me.
You heard him and you heard me.
And smash the like button. Is there a like button? Smash it. And the patriarchy. While you're at it.
Thank you so much for listening. I love you. You matter. Goodbye.
Hey, do you know about the Alison Rosen show?